The election was over on November 3rd, and the race was called on November 7th. And as of today, Biden has 288 electors certified to vote for him. Only Hawaii and New Jersey are still pending. So the election is over, the race was called long back, and now Biden has the electors, but Trump is still saying the election is rigged and he will turn it around. Now, why would he stop doing what he is doing? Out of the 249 Republican lawmakers in the Congress and the Senate, just 26 acknowledge that Biden won the election. 2 of them say that Trump won, and the rest, and there are 221 of them, will not say a word, meaning they don't know who won the election. So why should Trump stop what he is doing? He lost the election. So why should he care about people's faith in the electoral process? He lost a democratic contest, so who cares about the future of the democracy? He lost power, so why does he have to take care of controlling the pandemic? He lost 45 cases out of the 46 suits his lawyers have filed, but he had spent only $8.8 million on legal challenges while raising more than $200 million. That's an amazing return on investment, don't you think? Raise $200 million, spend $8.8 million on legal challenges, so who cares if you lose 45 cases or 450 cases? You still get to keep the $191 million. So he ain't gonna stop. What is in it for him if he stops? Not much. Yesterday, Mitt Romney finally took the gloves off and landed a nasty punch on Donald Trump's face. It was heartening to see him do that. Here he is ripping into Donald Trump.
Around the country, a Trump campaign lawyer said former election security official Chris Krebs, a Republican, should be shot. This is so dangerous. Could the president's words, what he's doing right now every single day, especially on Twitter, lead to more violence against these decent, hardworking, patriotic Americans?
I certainly hope not. I mean, it makes me very, very frightened for those people, and my heart goes out to them. They're courageous. They've stood up for what they believe is absolutely right. You had the Attorney General of the United States likewise saying that there's no evidence of the kind of widespread fraud that the president is talking about. But when he attacks election officials, I think he puts them at risk. I think that's very unfortunate. But look, the president has every right to pursue every legal avenue, to go to courts as he feels he can make his case. But if he doesn't have evidence that can convince a court, and if he doesn't have evidence that can convince the American people of widespread voter fraud, then making these accusations is only damaging the cause of freedom and putting people's lives at risk.
I know you got.
But Romney is one voice, just one member of the 52 Republican senators. So what he says will only fall on deaf ears. It would have been a lot different if 10 or 20 senators came together and pushed back against the president. That never happened. And that means we will maintain the current status quo until Biden is sworn in. But you know what's actually happening? You see the clock that is running at the bottom? When it reaches 30, we would have lost one more American to COVID. 30 seconds, that is all it takes now to lose someone to COVID. A nurse in South Dakota said that she has had patients who were dying of COVID, refusing to acknowledge that they had COVID. Imagine that for a moment. You are in the hospital and you are dying because of a virus and you are not ready to accept that. If that's where your head is, when you are on your deathbed, how many people they would have infected before they got to that point? This is how far the individual liberty propaganda has gone. We cannot help them no matter how much we want to, but we can protect ourselves and our family because we have no other choice. Listen to Romney again on what he says, what he thinks about the president is doing.
Here's the question, Senator. Where is the president's leadership? He's obsessed with everything else, not with this.
Well, this hasn't been the focus of his rhetoric, apparently, and I think it's a great human tragedy, without question. The extraordinary loss of life is heartbreaking and in some respects unnecessary. Not in all respects, but we've relaxed our standards as individuals. Some states haven't had mask mandates. And from Washington, we have not had a constant consistent plan and plea for people to wear masks, to social distance, to take all the measures that would reduce the spread of this disease. It's unfortunate that this became a political issue. It's not political. This is public health. And unfortunately, we have not made that message clear enough to the American people, and people are dying because of it.
The president is the head of the executive branch. The Congress and the Senate are there to pass legislations and authorize spending. But the implementation part of the equation relies on the White House. The leader of that house is busy making money from people in the name of turning around an election that was lost a month ago. He is way too busy to stop Americans from dying. And the White House is losing people that it needs to function at the highest level. Not many want to be part of this administration anymore.
Oh, that's right, Anderson. Well, we saw yesterday the White House Communications Director, Alyssa Farah, stepping down, and that, I think, raised some questions because you'll remember a month ago, a White House official named Johnny McEntee had issued this threat to White House officials saying, if you leave your job, if we catch you looking for a job, you're going to be fired. All of that is gone. Staffers here at the White House, from what we can tell, doing our reporting, they're ignoring those threats from McEntee and others, and they're starting to head for the exits. And I talked to a White House official earlier today who said, listen, the atmosphere in this West Wing inside the White House is getting toxic, more toxic by the day, that people are turning on each other and they're trying to settle scores. That is one reason why staffers are leaving, because of this toxic environment. Other staffers are leaving because they're fed up with the president, quite frankly. Based on our reporting, Anderson, there are staffers who are saying they're sick and tired of the president not conceding this race. They say that this is tarnishing his legacy, but also undermining democracy, because it's undermining people's faith in elections, in U.S. elections. And then finally, Anderson, is just the practical fact of the matter. People need to find jobs. The president may think he's heading into a second term come January of 2021, but just about everybody else here at the White House understands it's time to move on and they have to find other jobs.
So if you are expecting any executive action, if you are thinking that this White House will somehow find a way to control the spread of the pandemic as we keep scaling new peak deaths, please don't be. You are on your own. Vaccines are coming, but do remember we are a nation of 330 million plus people. So unless we can get hundreds of millions of people vaccinated, we are not going to see a meaningful reduction in COVID numbers. With the White House, that has turned into a money-making machine for this president, who will be there for another 40 days plus. This is the time to stay as careful as we can. We can do this, and we have to do this. We just have to take care of ourselves. I never really understood what exactly individual liberty meant to this current GOP, but it is slowly becoming clear. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe.